Disney movies before the 2000s versus after the 2000s. Before 2000 stereotypes. Women always needing to be saved by men. Women and young girls are represented as damsel in distress, portrayed as skinny and beautiful. The women main characters are always going after a certain man, and women must cook and clean. Before 2000 examples. In The Little Mermaid, Ariel falls in love with a man and he provides her with shelter and future life of luxury. She gives up her voice and basically everything to be with him. In Cinderella, she is stuck in an endless cycle of cleaning and hard labor, and then the prince immediately falls in love and whisks her off to his castle. In Sleeping Beauty, Prince Philip wakes up Aurora from the curse and ultimately saves the day. In Snow White, she is given an apple by her stepmother that will try to poison her, but in the end, she needs a kiss from the prince to save her life. Also, when Snow White stumbles upon the dwarf's house, her first instinct is to cook and clean.
After 2000 stereotypes. Teaches that women do not need a man to save them. Instead, women can save the day. Displays princesses who are minorities. Shows women who are strong and independent. Female rather than male leadership. Switched women from being damsels in distress to heroines. And the princesses no longer fit into societal norms. After 2000 examples. In Frozen, Anna is saved by an act of true love by her sister, not a man. In Moana, Moana has no love interest, unlike other Disney princesses. She is very independent as she goes out on a dangerous adventure. The Princess and Frog's main character is Tiana, who is African American. In Mulan, Mulan goes to war and fights just as well as the other men. She shows very masculine traits and does not accept that what women are supposed to act like. She eventually saves the day in the end, instead of a man coming to her rescue. In Brave, Merida takes control of her own life by not settling for an arranged marriage and uses her archery skills, which are traditionally male skills, to win her own hand in marriage.
The contrast between the before 2000s and after 2000s. Before 2000s, women were always relying on men. They were unable to take care of themselves. They had a lack of intelligence and needed men to solve the problems, and men always saved the day. After 2000s, there were women of color. They stood up for themselves. Men weren't always needed to save them. Men aren't always the hero. Women doing more male activities, and they don't always end up marrying. The similarities were that women were the main character. There were prejudices, feminine aspects in all of them, and they all have the idealistic body. Implications. Why this is important. It is important to teach future generations that these early movies do not fairly represent women. Women are strong and independent, and it is possible to overlook that when watching movies such as Cinderella and Snow White. It is also important to teach young girls that beauty is not everything.